was watching your latest episode. You've told your listeners to put themselves in Biden's shoes. Why? What do you mean by that? Do you think Biden got the send-off that he deserved after a lifelong career in politics?
Okay, so what I would say is Joe Biden is a human being. We sometimes forget that our politicians are actually human beings. And think about the last 2.5 months for Joe Biden. He's the president of the United States. He spent 50 years trying to get that job. 3 times he ran. And he still believed he was the best person to win the election. He still wanted to be the president of the United States. And then he had a very bad debate performance on June 27th, and he was effectively pushed out of this race. You know, I think we're trying to rewrite history a little bit here, that Biden did this for the good of the party and the good of the country. He wanted to run even after the June 27th debate. There's no question about that. He was shoved and then jumped, right? I mean, I think that's probably the fairest way to do it. Did he get the handoff he deserved? It's not the handoff he wanted. I mean, I think it's really important. This is the last chapter of Joe Biden's political book, right? These next 4.5 months. And I don't think he wanted to have it be on a Monday night at 11:30 p.m. on the East Coast, which is when he went on post prime time. So no, I don't think the speech I thought was totally fine. Obviously much better than the debate. But I don't think for the people who are sort of crafting his legacy, that's how they sort of wanted it to go.
But President Biden saying last night, Chris, he loves his job, but, quote, I love my country more. Do you think tensions have settled among Democrats? Are they united behind Harris? We even saw Nancy Pelosi holding up a sign saying we love Joe last night.
Yeah, look, do I think that Joe Biden is still annoyed, frustrated, and a little bit bitter? Yes. And the people close to him and who have been with him for his whole political career? Yes. Do I think that is a large chunk of the Democratic Party base? No, definitely not. I think the vast majority of Democrats are absolutely thrilled with the swap. They were when it happened. They're even more so now because Kamala Harris has gone from, Joe Biden was behind nationally in almost every swing state. Kamala Harris is now ahead nationally in almost every swing state. So, no, I do think the party is very unified, much more so than if Joe Biden had been giving the nomination acceptance speech on Thursday night if he was still the nominee. I think they would have Democratic problems with the base if that was the issue, and that's not the issue at this point, no question.
Biden largely focused on his own record. I understand that. He's been doing this most of his life. Do you think it was the right move? Did he promote his VP enough?
Again, if you are a diehard Kamala Harris acolyte, you probably would have liked there to be a little bit more Kamala Harris in that speech. But I get it, right? I mean, again, return to the point I made at the start. Joe Biden's a human being. This has been a very difficult couple of months, right? I mean, this is not the decision he wanted to make. This is not the Democratic convention he imagined even a few months ago. So I think you've got to give him a little bit of grace that he's going to go on more and longer about his own accomplishments than about Kamala Harris. I just think it was always going to be an awkward handoff given the way Biden was sort of ushered out of the race. And so this night, that Monday night, was always, I thought, going to be a little hard. You're both trying to honor the guy you pushed out and move on to the person who replaced him, who everyone is happier with. It's a hard, no matter how you handle the sort of theatrics of the night, that's hard.
Going back to something you said, do you think Biden not speaking until well after prime time was intentional? Was it just logistics? What do you think?
I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, so I guess I don't think it was intentional. But man, if you are a Biden person who already feels as though you've kind of been shunted to the side in this race, which he has, candidly, that is a bit of a slap in the face. I know people will say, everyone consumes this in clips. Nobody watches all these speeches. I get all of that. But remember, Joe Biden's an old school guy. And forever, the goal of these conventions was you put the most important, most high-profile speakers between 10 p.m. Eastern and 11 p.m. Eastern. That's how it has worked from the beginning of TV until now. Even Donald Trump, the most unconventional of politicians, did it that way. And so for Joe Biden to go on at 11:26 p.m. on the East Coast and not finish until 12:20 a.m., it is certainly far from ideal. And there were a number of high-profile Biden folks not his inner circle, but people who've been in his world expressing their sort of disappointment and discontent with that.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.